Hi, and welcome to the HR Link, where we have people-first conversations that centre around the humans inside your business. I'm Amy from Grounded HR, and my superpower lies in my ability to zero in on the individual to bring out their unique strengths, whilst helping values-led Australian businesses lead their teams with confidence and care. Here you'll find simple, people-first HR conversations and tips to take the stress out of managing your team and put the humans at the center of everything. So let's jump in. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today I want to talk to you about how do you handle HR in a small business when you don't have a dedicated internal resource. Now, I totally get it. If you're running a small business without an internal HR person, you are not alone. Actually, the bulk of small businesses in Australia do not have an internal HR resource, but it's still absolutely possible to get it right and lead well and, tick all the boxes when it comes to compliance. I know what it's like to run a small business. I run one of my own, and you are always wearing all the hats. I have clients who are business managers, so they might manage it for a trades business, for example, and as that person, she gets thrown the HR portion of the business. She has no idea how to do contracts, how to interpret awards, and she's always juggling all the issues. So she's juggling accounts and inquiries and employee questions and, questions from the business owner themselves. And it can get really, really overwhelming. And I get it. We are all stretched in small business. And so it's my aim to make sure that when you are doing HR, when you are making decisions, when you are hiring a new person, that you know where to go, who to talk to, and how to get the support you need. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel stretched. I want you to feel calm and confident about your decisions and the people that you're bringing into your team. You also have the risk there, right, of the legal compliance. Now, so many businesses that I've spoken to have had run-ins with Fair Work, and it's my aim to provide great HR advice to as many Australian businesses as possible, especially in the small business field. You guys hold my heart. I have so many friends who run small businesses, and it's so important to me that you know how to do this stuff well and where to go to get the information. There's two things I want to distinguish here. There's the compliance piece. So this is like the minimum requirements. This is the things you're legally bound to comply with. But then there's this portion called best practice. Best practice is how you actually build a really culturally and values aligned team who are really engaged in your business and who want to be at work every day, who want to wake up on a Monday morning and come to work with enthusiasm and excitement for what the impact that they're making. These two businesses, the one who's just doing the minimum compliance and the one who is following best practice, they feel very, very different. And I encourage you to be that best practice business. Compliance is important, and I guess that's probably the corporate view of what HR is. And I want to step so far away from that. We need to lead with heart. We need to be really encouraging. We need to engage our employees so that they hang around with us for a long period and that they're invested in the mission of what your business is. So I encourage you to, head in that direction of the best practice rather than just ticking the boxes and doing the bare minimum. So I want to give you a couple of key tips on how to start this really well. The first part is that compliance piece. So that it has to be one of the important parts of what you do. You need to understand where you fit under Fair Work. You need to understand what award applies to your employees. And the key thing here is all your employees may not be under the same award. It really does depend on the industry and the job that person does. So you need to know your basic key compliance obligations. My second tip here is to put systems in place early. Now, systems don't necessarily mean policies and procedures, although they are part of the system. But a system is actually there to take the headaches away from you. The system is there to support you so that you don't have to answer the same questions a million times. Your employees know where to get the right information, that their employee onboarding, offboarding, signing contracts is a really simple and smooth process. This might come with a piece of technology. This might come with just a really well thought out checklist and storage system that makes sure that your business knows where all your paperwork is at all times. But I encourage you to put a system in place. Don't let it be willy-nilly and things end up in God knows where, stored in various different locations, because your employees are actually entitled to request where their information is. And if you can't find a copy of their documentation and you're not meeting the confidentiality and privacy rules that are legislated in Australia, you can actually be in a lot of trouble. So I encourage you to really think about what is going to work for your business and what system you want to put in place to make your own life easier. The third part is have a really good source of advice. Now, it's my aim to make sure that small businesses can get affordable access to HR advice from day dot of when you decide to either hire a contractor team or an employee team. This should be part of what is given to us from the government or provided to us when we start a small business, but it's not. So I want to encourage you to find who that person is. Find your local HR consultant. Find someone like myself who can provide advice remotely, and find the person who's going to work with you. Now, I know I'm not the HR person for everybody. You've got to find the right person with the right personality and the right style for your business. So I encourage you to find that person, find that source of advice so that they are pointing you in the right direction and that they are being helpful to you. Now, this person, I do want to make one distinguishing difference here. HR specialists are not lawyers and lawyers are not HR specialists. We sit in very different lanes. Yes, there are overlapping parts, but sometimes I have found in my experience that the advice that a lawyer provides may not be the correct interpretation of the Fair Work legislation and how it works in a payroll sense. So I do encourage you to find the right person for you in the right profession for your business. So in recap, you don't need a full-time HR manager to feel confident in your business. You need to search that person, you need to find that person, and you need to be feeling confident with the support that you've got and the systems that you have put in place within the business. Here at Grounded HR, we want to be the supportive partner for small teams. We have created the HR link so that it is really supportive, affordable, accessible for busy small business owners. So if you are looking for support that is tailored, that is affordable, that is accessible, and you want to, lead with heart and have a really engaged team, then I really encourage you to check out the HR link. I hope the tips I've shared with you today have resonated and that you have enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining me today on the HR link. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you hit subscribe or follow so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. We always aim to help you lead your team with confidence and care. And if you're ready to take the next step, I encourage you to explore the HR link. It's your HR partner in your pocket. We provide practical, people-first support to Aussie Australian businesses. You'll find the link below. But up until next time, keep leading with clarity, care and confidence, and we'll see you then.